the Reading Corner with me, Mr. M. Today we're going on to a brand new story in our book Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman, and we're going to be moving on to the chapter of the Children of Loki. So, let's begin. Loki was handsome, and he knew it. People wanted to like him. They wanted to believe him, but he was undependable and self-centered at best, mischievous or evil at worst. He married a woman called Sigyn, who had been happy and beautiful when Loki courted and married her, but now always looked like she was expecting bad news. She bore him a son, Narfi, and shortly afterwards another son, Vali. Sometimes Loki would vanish for long periods and not return, and then Sigyn would look like she was expecting the very worst news of all. But always Loki would come back to her, looking shifty and guilty, and also as if he were very proud of himself indeed. 3 times he went away, 3 times he eventually returned. The 3rd time Loki returned to Asgard, Odin called Loki to him. "I have dreamed a dream," said the wise old one-eyed god. "You have children." "I have a son, Narfi, a good boy, although I must confess that he does not always listen to his father, and another son, Vali, obedient and restrained." "Not them. You have 3 other children, Loki. You have been sneaking off to spend your days and your nights in the land of the frost giants with Angerboda, the giantess. And she has borne you 3 children. I have seen them in the eye of my mind as I sleep, and my visions tell me that they will be the greatest foes of the gods in the time that is to come." Loki said nothing. He tried to look ashamed, and succeeded simply in looking pleased with himself. Odin called the gods to him, with Tyr and Thor at their head, and he told them that they would be journeying far into Jotunheim to Giant Land to bring Loki's children to Asgard. The gods travelled into the lands of the giants, battling many dangers until they reached Angerboda's keep. She was not expecting them, and she had left her children playing together in her great hall. The gods were shocked when they saw what Loki and Angerboda's children were, but that did not deter them. They seized the children, and they bound them, and they carried the oldest between them, tied to the stripped trunk of a pine tree, and they muzzled the second child with a muzzle made from knotted willow, and they put a rope around its neck as a leash, while the 3rd child walked beside them, gloomy and disturbing. Those on the right of the 3rd child saw a beautiful young girl, while those on the left tried not to look at her, for they saw a dead girl, her skin and flesh rotted black, walking in their midst. "Have you noticed something?" Thor asked Tyr on the 3rd day of their journey back through the land of the frost giants. They had camped for the night in a small clearing, and Tyr was scratching the furry neck of Loki's 2nd child with his huge right hand. "What? They are not following us, the giants. Not even the creature's mother has come after us. It's as if they want us to take Loki's children out of Jotunheim." "That is foolish talk," said Tyr. But as he said it, even though the fire was warm, he shivered. 2 more days of hard travelling, and they were in Odin's hall. "These are the children of Loki," said Tyr shortly. The first of Loki's children was tied to a pine tree, and was no longer than the pine tree it was tied to. It was called Jormungandr, and it was a serpent. "It has grown many feet in the days we have carried it back," said Tyr. Thor said, "Careful, it can spit burning black venom. It spat its poison at me, but it missed. That's why we tied its head to the tree like that." "It's a child," said Odin. "It is still growing. We will send it where it can harm nobody." Odin took the serpent to the shore of the sea that lies beyond all lands, the sea that circles Midgard, and there on the shore he freed Jormungandr. and watched it slither and slip beneath the waves and swim away in loops and curls. Odin watched it with his one eye until it was lost on the horizon, and he wondered if he had done the right thing. He did not know. He had done as his dreams had told him, but dreams know more than they reveal, even to the wisest of gods. The serpent would grow beneath the grey waters of the world ocean, grow until it encircled the earth. Folk would call Jormungandr the Midgard serpent. Odin returned to the great hall, and he ordered Loki's daughter to step forward. He stared at the girl. On the right side of her face, her cheek was pink and white. Her eye was the green of Loki's eyes. Her lips were full and carmine. On the left side of her face, the skin was blotched and striated, swollen in the bruises of death. Her sightless eye rotted and pale, her lipless mouth wizened and stretched over skull-brown teeth. "What do they call you, girl?" asked the All-Father. "They call me Hel," she said, "if it pleases you, All-Father." "You are polite, child," said Odin. "I'll give you that." Hel said nothing, only looked at him with her single green eye, sharp as an ice chip, and her pallid eye, dull and spoiled and dead, and he saw no fear in her. "Are you alive?" he asked the girl, "or are you a corpse?" "I am only myself, Hel, daughter of Angerboda and of Loki," she said, "and I like the dead best of all. They are simple things, and they talk to me with respect. The living look at me with revulsion." Odin contemplated the girl, and he remembered his dreams. Then Odin said, "This child will be the ruler of the deepest of the dark places, and ruler of the dead of all the 9 worlds. She will be the queen of those poor souls who die in unworthy ways, of disease or of old age, of accidents or in childbirth. Warriors who die in battle will come to us here in Valhalla, but the dead who die in other ways will be her folk, to attend her in her darkness." For the first time since she had been taken from her mother, the girl Hel smiled with half a mouth. Odin took Hel down to the lightless world, and he showed her the immense hall in which she would receive her subjects, and watched as she named her possessions. "I will call my bowl Hunger," said Hel. She picked up a knife. "This is called Famine, and my bed is called Sick Bed." That was 2 of Loki's children with Angerboda dealt with then. 1 in the ocean, 1 to the darkness beneath the earth. But what to do with the 3rd? I really hope you enjoyed that first little bit of that story. We're going to be cutting this one probably into 3 parts, and we'll be reading the next one next week and finding out about Loki's 3rd child. So, join me then. And until next time, keep reading, keep imagining, and keep creating. I'll see you then.